Well, hello lads, how are you doing? So, on the food review today, it's about a game that you guys seen, and honestly, it has the indie descendant. Well, the release date was in July 11th, and the publisher is guess who? Of course, Devolver Digital. So, I don't mean to pigeonhole Injure Food by reducing it to the first person Hotline Miami, right? But that's pretty much the elevator pitch of the game. Enemies go down in one hit, but so you do it, and levels are tight line labyrinths where each room demands you clear it with maximum aggression and efficiency. The other top line gameplay feature is your titular angry food, not to be confused with the game's protagonist, the anger food. Well, my favorite moment came when I traded into my go-to show power up, the charges, which grant a gap closing a dash ability that also stalks enemies for a pair of sexy stilettos in order to clear a mission's challenge objective. The curveball is that these heals make it so bullets only stun enemies, while thrown weapons become an instant kill, and this was a particularly firearm-heavy mission. Having to run the level back with fresh eyes and a completely different approach was Anger Food and its beast, its Hotline Miami flow, stayed killing remix on the fly by clever design. You are always a single button press away from one of the better instant melees I ever seen in a game. While actually the Anger Food Kicks has a different vibe from a Dark Messiah or Deathloop's legendary NPC punts. It kills enemies outright instead of knocking them into the traps, but it's similarly satisfying. Every fight begins with you blasting a door open with your clodhopper, often sending it flying right into an enemy for an instant kill. And it's a fantastic mechanic, to be honestly. And my only gripe is that the power-up that activates bullet time on kicking a door down doesn't unlock until the very end of the game. I really dig how much Anger Food leans into the kick thematically and mechanically. Of course, Anger Food is Snakerhead, with the game whole plot kicked off by his prize collection getting stolen, and all of your power-ups are different shoes, of brand Birkenstocks for an extra life, Tim's for a big head mode, and those throwing Transforming's high heels are just a few examples. There are some clear winners and losers in the arsenal, with some intentionally making the game harder, while the dash, attack, and the bullet time loafers are just plain better, but that's where the optional objectives come in. It feels weird to say that a game brimming with the gleeful scatological humor shows resistance, and each mission has 2 challenges to complete, in addition to just clearing the levels. There are a bunch of different flavors of the speedrun. Kill everybody, kill every enemy, no jumping, and stuff. Playstyle and loadout restriction, creative multi-kills, and even a few gag secret objectives. I started off trying to nail everyone, but the challenge quickly ramps up, and some even require power-ups you can only unlock later in the campaign. Anger Food feels generous and substantial, and it's about the perfect blend for an arcade, level-based shooter. I rolled credits, and about 9 hours with maybe 40% of the optional objectives left to go, but you could probably get it under 6 if you just ignored them altogether. Anger Food also keeps a lot of in reverse for the back half, with most of my favorite weapons, levels, and enemies showing up in the 3rd and the 4th of 4th zones. I didn't go in expecting to love Anger Food aesthetics, but it really grew on me. The vibe is adult comedy animation, but one of the actual funny ones, names like a Shit City or The Crime Minister, risks being goofy in a bad way or cringe, as the kids say, but the bits always landed for me, and it felt cheeky and fun and non-self-conscious edgy. A huge thing to Anger Food's credit is that its jokes never overstay their welcome, and most of the comedy is strictly optional. There is no quirky mission control or Justin Roiland voice talking gun yapping at all the time. There are intentional non-combat levels full of NPCs to chat with or ignore at your leisure, all of whom deliver 3 or 4 line jokes that's usually got me chuckle. And if you feel annoyed, You just kick them after with zero consequences. My favorite bits, though, were countless sign gags, and the easy ones to miss. You just zoom in through the levels. Shout out to the office conference room where all the chairs were toilets. It feels weird to say that a game brimming with gleeful sociological humor shows the resistance, but it kinda does, you know? Well, continuing, Anger Food also has confidently good audio overall, and not just with the soundtrack. Its devs say was inspired by Dutch nightclub bits. Many of the different shoes have unique footstep sound, catnip or thief enjoyer, with the standouts being the whimsical honks or the clown shoes and the disquisiently wet slapping on your bare feet. That trumping nightclub soundtrack may not be all taste. When I shared the gameplay of clip on those in-leveled side gags, I love so much to the workshop. The reaction to the music was less than enthusiastic, I should say softly. I dig it in throughout. I think it's fine, and it's the first game the whole streetwear hypebeast set up. Well, my biggest issue were actually the technical one. There is a fun bugs like charge attack or situationally high recoil weapons launching you outside the level, but I didn't have the misfortune or just unlucky or running into the one of those late in my dozen attempt on difficult mission. More ambiguously frustrating was Anger Food's performance. Some particularly busy rooms would leave the frame rate chugging at the 1440p on my RTX 3017 and 2021 i5. And I still run into some hitches playing the game on my Full HD monitor. Of course not Full HD, it's 4K. None of that was a deal breaker for me, though, and this feels like the sort of things developers with free lives can improve with the patches. We've got a glut of indie shooters right now, but Anger Food really sets itself apart. This feels very different from now what most boomer shoes are attempting, and it's easy recommendation whenever you decide to tear throughout it once or really take the time to master its optional challenges. And yeah, so I guess it's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. I'll say it's I say it's 4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Thanks. Bye.